Listen, I'll tell you one thing. Don't listen to a single person unless they sold the top of Bitcoin. They sold the top of crypto like I did. All praise to God. Anybody else who didn't, and their reason is, well, you can't really time that stuff. Okay, yeah, you can't really time that stuff. So don't listen to that goofball. Anyways, everybody wants to know, was $60,000 the bottom of Bitcoin? Was that the generational time to buy? Is this where we bounce off from and go to all-time highs, new all-time highs? Everybody wants to know this, right? And the thing is, it feels like nobody knows. Nobody knows. Like if anyone tells you where Bitcoin's going, don't listen to them. Bruh, nah, that just means you don't know what you're doing. You have no idea what the chart is, okay? Here's what I want you to look at. Here's one cool thing that everybody can look at, okay? So if we go on the Bitcoin chart and we go on the weekly and we do a Bitcoin halving cycle, just like that, the 4-year cycle that nobody can argue against because so far it has been right all of the time, especially and including this cycle, right? So basically what this shows is, you see where it says profit end, or pretty much this whole green, this is the area where you should be taking profit. So that's cycle, this is the second cycle, this is, the next cycle, which is right now. And then it tells you where to DCA and stuff like that, okay? So here's the thing. What happened last cycle? Last cycle, we dumped like crazy all the way down until around like the end of January to February. And then we rallied. We had a whole little relief rally, right? That looked like this. It looked like this. Basically, we had a pull, a flag, and then a pull, right? And the same thing here. Boom. We had a little bit of consolidation, and then we just absolutely crashed down here, right? And if you look from the top to here, this was 50%. That was a 50% drop. What happened after the 50% drop? We consolidated for a couple months, but then from there, we went to another 65. But really, from that bottom, from that 50 down here, is basically another 50% drop, 55, right? So that's the thing. Where are we at right now? We are from top to bottom. We are 45%, or really 50%, which is where we really landed at. We're about a 50% drop, right? Where people think, hey, this is the bottom. And why did I say that? Is because for two reasons. For one, because we have a huge wick right here. Okay, so that means we swept all that liquidity and we go higher. That's what people think. The second reason is because this is last cycle's all-time high right here, 60K. This one's 60K or 69K, and then all of this consolidation, all the support. So we just bounce right off of that, and so we go higher, right? Okay, let me talk about that second part, right? Okay, what happened last cycle? We went down. Actually, let me show you. This is our all-time high from the cycle before it. What did we do? We bounced off of that, right? We came back, support, but then we just dumped under it. So we don't have to bounce from here and go higher. We could just dump under it like we did here. We definitely can just come straight down here, right? Or there's no like rule that states that we have to bounce off of here, right? That's for one. For two, in terms of the wick, the same thing. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this at least right here. You see this huge wick downwards, right? And we still had another bear flag, bear candle, one green, but then we just dumped. Even though we had a wick right here, a huge wick, and no wick upwards, right? So that doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. And look at it right now. We're already starting to go down again. But here's the real reason, or here's the real thing that I want to share with you guys today. Bitcoin and trading in general, only a very small amount of people profit and come out with huge profits and actually sell the top. And only a small percent of people buy at the actual bottom. Everybody else buys on as it's pumping, buys the top, or as it's coming down, buys here and then holds it down. Everybody else gets screwed over. They get screwed over. They're always in a loss unless they just hold and they don't do anything. And even then, they're still on a loss for a certain amount of time. Oh, and also, literally CNBC, like the news is saying the bottom of Bitcoin. Come on, guys. When has the news ever actually been there for us? Let's think about this. Everybody is still bullish right now. Although the fear and greed index shows that we're in extreme fear, but the actual real sentiment of the people is, yes, a little bit of anxiety. They have anxiety. There's people, obviously they're not as bullish anymore, but most people are actually buying here. Everyone that I know that's in crypto has been talking about buying here, right? Because they think that, no, this is the bottom and we're going to go much higher. And especially your favorite YouTubers probably on Twitter and everything like that, they're buying here. So what does that mean? Can we all make it? No, we can't. What did I learn last cycle in the NFT market and in crypto market? Wag me. We're all going to make it. We're not. We can't all make it. It's a zero-sum game. For you to win, somebody else has to lose. And therefore, majority of people have to lose so that you can get a lot of money. Whereas if you're going to make $1 million. If you're gonna make $10 million out of crypto, that $10 million came from somebody else. That a whole bunch of people need to lose for you to make a significant amount of money. If you're buying right here at the very bottom, right, and you do a freaking 5x or whatever, if you do something like that and then you sell here, you're selling to literally all of that price action that came here, right? And you're selling, and everybody else has to hold. Basically, I highly doubt, highly doubt that this would be the bottom, because there are still so many, too many people still bullish. Like, unfortunately, most people will lose money, so therefore most people are going to be wrong. So therefore, if most people are bullish and most people are still greedy, you should be fearful. So me personally, I sold the top. All praise to God. And I'm looking to buy back in. I can buy back in here, right? Just in case my theory is wrong, but I'm not going to, because for two reasons. For one, everybody's still bullish, right? And I would love to just buy at 45k is actually my target, even though I think 35k, sorry, is where we're probably going. But I would rather not risk that, because a lot of people are saying that number. So I'd rather just buy a little bit, it's like everybody's saying 150k, so you sell at 120k, right? And the second reason is because, what was the second reason? Okay, the second reason is because we've never had a V-shaped recovery on a bear market where we just go like this. Never in Bitcoin's history during a bear market year have we ever had something just like this. No, what we have is actually like this. We have something like that, and then we go like this. We actually have literally what looks to be a bottom. All right, let's look at last cycle. So therefore, I wouldn't want to just buy anywhere, like for example here, thinking scared like, oh, I'm gonna miss a move, it's gonna go higher. No, I'll just, if this is it, if it does actually bottom here, then it will actually bottom. What you'll see is the sellers are exhausted. There's no more selling. It's like it doesn't really, and then it starts to rally like that. Now we know that there's no more sellers, because all of this area was them trying to sell, and now the buyers have stepped in. But if you just do something like this, there's still a lot of sellers, so they might just take it down more. And that's exactly what happened here. Boom, and then they took it down more, right? Let's look at last cycle. We come down. We don't just, we go up a little bit, but like we don't. We fall down. But for a bottom, this is what a bottom really looks like. It looks like we just kind of consolidate, drop a little bit. But look at this drop, by the way. This is like a 20% drop versus 50 and 50. You know what I mean? So it's like, this is a very minimal drop compared to all that stuff. So the drops are a lot less, and we just recovered all of that. We come back, we tested a support, and then we go higher. Boom, huge bull candle. You get in. Yes, you get in. What the hell? Right? The cycle before also. Look at this perfect bottom. Literally, this is what it looks like. Like this. That's a perfect bottom. Where we, come down, we just go straight sideways pretty much. Right? And then we just recover that area that we lost where we came down to make the bottom. Right? And then we go boom, boom. You get in right here. Or you get in right here. Or you even just get in here. Who cares? Right? But the point is, it never does this. It's never done that. So therefore, you don't have to panic and be like, oh, like, yes, it's done it, for example, here. Right? We're just boom. This is a V-shaped recovery, and then it goes higher. But that wasn't. This is the bear area right here. This is the actual area where we bottomed. This is a rally, and then it came down to test the support. But the actual real bottom is here, and look at how it looks, like a U, not a V, a U. The other thing also, the last thing I want to share with you is if you take. Actually, this video has already kind of been too long, so the next video I'll share about this, and honestly how you know for sure 100% when we are out of this bear market, out of this downtrend, and we are most likely gonna reverse into an uptrend. The actual secret sauce, okay? I'll talk about it in the next video. Comment, subscribe, take care.